Hi guys and welcome to my advanced Resto Druid guide. Disclaimer: this is aimed at druids progressing through mythic raids and looking to improve. In no way this is a representation of what the very top guilds are doing. If you're overhealing an encounter, you won't do much good as your heals are highly likely to get clipped by other healers. I find that less fun and it enables others to play badly. You need to use the right talents for each fight, and the best way is to just copy what others are doing. Eventually you will know what works best for you. There is always a variation, especially if you are overhealing the fight. For example, cultivation becomes less powerful with every additional healer in the group. But there is such a thing as the best spec, and Warcraft logs can be used to check the talents for each fight. You can compare the trinkets and even the legendaries. I am assuming you know the basics of druid healing, so I'm not going to be covering it here. Here are some other cool mechanics. I would recommend to only ever use Flourish in combination with Essence of Ganir or after using Wild Growth. The best combination is Wild Growth followed by Essence of Ganir and then Flourish. With this combo you are covering all bases. But because Essence of Ganir cooldown is longer than Flourish, you might have to use Flourish without it. I would not delay casting Flourish unless you know there is going to be a lot of incoming damage. Otherwise just use Wild Growth followed by Flourish. It is also worth noting that Scenario Word will also get its duration extended by Flourish, but it can be difficult to time it, and I would not delay casting Flourish because of this. Mana can be a big issue for Resto Druids, and Innovate is the best mana saving cooldown that we have. For most cases I would not save it for the big damage phase at the end of the fight. It is the best to have multiple uses of this cooldown. What I mean by this is that it is better to use it twice during moderate damage phases rather than getting one use of it during the big burst. This of course highly depends on the fight and your mana consumption. The same can be said for Tranquility and its uses. It is better to have multiple uses of a Tranquility during a fight in order to maximize HPS and minimize mana consumption. It's the little things that separate a great healer and an average one. Druids rely on spell uptimes. Life Bloom and Fluorescence should always be close to 100% as possible. What can increase your healing and make you a better player would be prioritizing rejuvenation on low HP targets. This might sound silly, but being the first to pinpoint low targets will lead to a cultivation proc, which in turn will activate your mastery. It becomes a chain reaction leading to only increased healing. If you are running with Spring Blossom's talent, which is the go-to talent for most of the Nighthold bosses, efflorescent placement becomes vital. Try and make sure to get most people within it, as the HUD can be applied to everyone inside it, but only 3 people at a time. Besides prioritizing spell uptimes, a Resto Druid should maximize healing during movement. Make sure your setup allows for free movement with easy casting. That means your spell keybinds are easy to click and fast to access. Using add-ons like ClickA for keybindings can help with this. We are super mobile, so with Displacer Beast you should never be caught out and you should have no problem to maximize casting times when needed. I just want to finish off the guide by mentioning the best place to find Resto Druid information. And right now the most current and in my opinion the best community is found on Resto Druid Discord, where you can find information about gear, legendaries and stat priorities.